Hello and welcome to my channel. Bonjour et bienvenue sur ma chaîne. My name is Muriel and today, guess what? I'm going to do another one of these tag videos. And I'm going to go with the unpopular opinions tag because, yeah, why not? Yeah, you know what? For this one, I'm going to go with the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. So it's not so much that I didn't like it, it's just I was disappointed because it'd been hyped so hard, and I guess I expected too much from it. Like, everyone was like, oh, it's so awesome, the world building is out of this world, no pun intended. The magic system is incredible, and oh yes, there are lots of people of color, and sexual identities, etc. Now, to the latter point, yes, that's true. That being said, like, you know, the Earth-Sea cycle by Ursula K. Le Guin, tons of people of color. And, you know, that dates back to, what, 50 years now? So, just saying. And sexual identities, I mean, sure, but I mean, if it's just to throw them like that for work points, yeah, sorry, that's just not going to impress me that much. The world building wasn't that great. It wasn't bad, but I mean, sorry, I've seen better. And as to the magic system, what was so incredible about it, really? It didn't seem that different from a lot of other magic systems I've seen in SFF. So, like I said, it wasn't bad, but it was a huge letdown. I'll probably do a review of this trilogy at some point. But yeah, sorry. Couldn't get on the hype train with this one. Oh god, that's hard to answer. Maybe, I mean, I could go with Lolita. I'm not really sure it's an unpopular book as such. It is a classic for a reason, so a lot of people do like it. But I think it has a very bad reputation because a lot of people assume it glorifies pedophilia, which it does not. I've read it twice now from very different places in my life. No, it does not glorify pedophilia. It talks about it, yes. It's a very disturbing book on many levels, but no, it does not do the apologia of pedophilia, I promise you that. Honestly, read it, or not, if that's just not your thing, I can respect that, but please be informed about this book, then read reviews about it, or literary critics about it, you know. Or I could go, if I wanted, with The Mists of Avalon. But there again, I'm not sure that it's so much unpopular as controversial now, or it's been for a while, I think, because the author turned out to be a child abuser. Now, personally, I'm an adept of death of the author. That's just me. At least for most cases. I'm sure there are cases where this cannot apply, but in this case, I've also reread this book this year. I read it for the first time 10 years ago. Both times at the end of the book, I was in tears. It was so beautiful and touched my soul on so many levels. I love this novel. I will never not love it, and the fact the author did something so horrible to her own children will not change that for me, sorry. No. So, again, I'm pretty sure a lot of people still love this book, but I mention it because of the controversy. Yeah, I'm gonna wimp out with this one and just say I'm not a fan of love triangles by principle. More specifically, I don't like the fact that it always has to be, you know, she, or he, but more often she, has to choose one of them. Like, to each their own, but I don't really care about mononormativity, is it called? So, as far as I'm concerned, you know, you could go with both, you could just not choose any of them, and it wouldn't make that big of a difference. Plus, especially in YA fiction, the characters are teenagers. Why are we expecting them to choose their one and only true love for the rest of their lives when they're bloody teenagers? It's ridiculous. I mean, seriously, you know, I know some people meet their soulmate when they're 15 and there's never no one else in their life, and good for them if they're happy that way. But let's be real here, that's not the majority of us, come on. So yeah, I think that trope needs to, not die, but not be so bloody prevalent. I'd say popular genre I don't really reach for intrinsically is thrillers. I don't dislike them, I just don't reach out to them. I've read a few that I've enjoyed, but it's not something I seek out. I'd rather watch a thriller as a movie or a TV series than read one. Jon Snow? Actually, it's not quite true. Once again, it's not so much that I dislike Jon Snow, but I am not a Jon Snow fan. I just don't like the fact that a lot of A Song of Ice and Fire theorists believe he's the chosen one, the second coming of Aragorn, the one true king, the prince who was promised, Harry Potter, Jesus, all of that combined in one, because I'm sorry, but from what I've seen, heard, and read about George R.R. Martin, he doesn't go for that kind of thing. And so no, I refuse to hop on the Jon Snow is the savior train. No, I won't do it, sorry. An author I can't get into. Maybe D.H. Lawrence. So, I read Lady Chatterley's Lover for the first time. I was 14. And I reread it this year. And I didn't like it. I loved it as a teenager, but I didn't really like it this time around. Now, back then, when I liked it, I wanted to see if I would enjoy some other of his works. So I tried The Rainbow, and did absolutely nothing for me. I was bored out of my mind. And from reading the synopsis of his other novels, I was like, no, I don't think I really want to try anything else by him. See, the thing is, I don't necessarily read another novel by a same author just because I enjoyed a previous novel of theirs. The story has to interest me. If the story doesn't sound appealing, even if I loved the other novel by said author, I'm not necessarily going to try it. I'm more focused on the actual story, what's the premise, the characters, the themes, than just, oh, it was written by XYZ. That's how I function with regards to books. You have to find a one true love to be saved or redeem your character or experience the apex of personal growth. I don't know, stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of romance. So basically, I don't really care. And I don't want characters to have to, follow the life script trademark. And they have to find their one true love, and they have to settle down with them, and perhaps have children. I guess that's more something I would encounter actually in the cinematic medium, rather than the literary one, because of the books I choose to read, but yeah, I'll go with that. I guess the Wheel of Time series, because I've heard that there's, more than 10, 15 books in it? Something like that? And I've committed myself to A Song of Ice and Fire for now, and I'm still waiting for the series to freaking finish already. And I've spent hours into the theory crafting and listening to YouTubers and reading theories on Reddit and forums, and I cannot stop this crap again with another series. I just can't. I can't do it. So I do not see myself investing time into such a ginormous sequence of novels. And another one I don't think I will get into is maybe the Mistborn trilogy. I don't know, I'm still on the fence about it because I've heard it's pretty good. On the other hand, a booktuber I quite like said she read it and she was really disappointed, probably because she got roped in by the hype surrounding it, so I'm hesitating. Oh yeah, and another one. I will not be reading the trilogy that follows The Mortal Instruments. I thought I would for a long time, but I really enjoyed these 6 books when I read them. I was younger, and I really feel I've outgrown YA fiction, so So yeah, I just think I'd be disappointed, and then it would probably sour my good memories of the series, so I'm just going to let it go. Okay, please, please don't shoot me for what I'm about to say. I will explain myself. But I'm going to have to go with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Right, so context is direly needed here. I first saw the movies before reading the novels this year. I read The Hobbit, and I read the Silmarillion, which I really, really enjoyed, before I read The Lord of the Rings. And the problem is, I read The Lord of the Rings at the same time I suffered a traumatic personal loss in my life. So unfortunately, my reading of those novels will always be tarnished by that event. And, well, like, it is a classic of the genre. You know what, screw that. It's a classic of literature for a very, very good reason. I completely agree with that. And I'm not even saying that the movies are better than the novels, but I enjoyed the movies more than I enjoyed the novels. I guess I was expecting a bit too much from them. I've read a lot of fantasy before The Lord of the Rings. I didn't start fantasy with The Lord of the Rings. So my expectations could never be met with that trilogy. Whereas, you know, the first time I saw the movies, they were bloody groundbreaking, right? They were amazing. Nothing of that kind had been made before in cinema. So, while I absolutely loved the Silmarillion, I read The Lord of the Rings and I was like, no, I can't quite get there. I still love the world building, and I also read Unfinished Tales, so I love the Tolkien verse. But yeah, my enjoyment of the Lord of the Rings movies is greater than me reading the books. That's it. I made it through in one piece. I'm not sure I have that controversial opinions about the books I mentioned, apart from the last one, of course. But yeah, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.